What do you do when she suddenly starts to act distant, when your texts go unanswered and her warmth seems to vanish into cold silence? It's unsettling, isn't it? Your mind races to fill the gaps. Did I say something wrong? Is she losing interest? Should I reach out again? But before you act, take a moment to breathe, because this isn't just about her behavior. It's about your response, your ability to navigate uncertainty without losing your sense of self. In today's video, we're diving deep into what it means to handle her distance with grace and wisdom. We're not here to play games or manipulate outcomes. Instead, we'll explore 10 actionable steps that empower you to stay composed, protect your peace, and most importantly, preserve your self-respect. And if you're someone who draws inspiration from Stoicism, you're in for something special. Together, we'll uncover how timeless Stoic principles can guide you through this moment, helping you focus on what you can control while letting go of what you can't. If you are new at this channel, please subscribe. For different contents, please leave a comment. If want to better reflect your Stoic spirit, you can get your own wallpapers from the link in the description. So, are you ready to reclaim your calm and approach this with clarity? Let's get started. Number 1. Remain steady and grounded when a woman pulls away. It's natural to feel a surge of panic, the tight feeling in your chest, the whirlwind of anxious thoughts. It's something many have experienced. You may start to overanalyze every recent conversation, dissecting each detail for a clue about what might have gone wrong. Perhaps you're tempted to reach out immediately, send a message, make a call, do anything to restore the connection and bring things back to normal. But here's the hard truth: acting out of fear or desperation often backfires. It can come across as needy or insecure, and that's likely to drive her further away rather than draw her closer. The key here is to resist that instinctive reaction and remain steady and grounded. This may feel incredibly challenging, especially when emotions are high, but maintaining your composure is a powerful first step. Why? Because showing emotional control communicates stability and confidence, qualities that are undeniably attractive. When you demonstrate that you can handle uncertainty without spiraling, you send a clear message: you are secure in yourself, regardless of external circumstances. Confidence rooted in emotional steadiness is magnetic, especially when things feel unsettled. Consider a familiar situation: she stops responding to your texts. It's been a day, maybe 2, or even more. The urge to reach out and seek clarity feels overwhelming. You want to ask if everything is okay, to confirm that nothing's wrong. Perhaps you even feel like sending a series of messages to get her attention. But here's an important insight: silence often speaks volumes. When someone creates distance, it's not your job to chase. Instead, it's your moment to pause, reflect, and respect the space they need. Often, people retreat because they need time to sort through their emotions or regain their balance. By honoring that need, you allow her the opportunity to miss you, reflect on your value, and decide what she truly wants. Pressing too hard during this time risks making her feel overwhelmed, which only creates more distance. While you're stepping back, prioritize your own well-being. Dive into activities that bring you fulfillment, whether it's your work, hobbies, spending time with friends, or focusing on self-improvement. This reinforces to her and to yourself that your life doesn't hinge on her responses. You're a complete individual with your own sense of purpose, and that's an incredibly attractive quality. Living confidently and independently shows that you're not dependent on external validation for your emotional balance. Rather than chasing reassurance, you become a source of stability, someone she can turn to when life feels uncertain. From a Stoic perspective, this approach is both empowering and practical. As Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." You cannot control her decision to pull back, but you have complete control over your response. This is where your strength lies, in your ability to act with purpose rather than react impulsively. Remaining calm in the face of uncertainty preserves your dignity and demonstrates resilience. Emotional composure reflects inner strength, a quality that never goes unnoticed. It's important to remember that calmness isn't passive, it's an active choice, a conscious exercise in self-restraint and thoughtful action. This is a demonstration of the Stoic virtue of self-control, not being ruled by fleeting emotions, but responding with intention and clarity. By staying grounded and composed, you set the tone for future interactions. Women are naturally drawn to individuals who remain balanced, even when external events like a period of silence threaten to throw things off course. As you consider how to navigate these moments of distance, think about how you've responded to similar situations in the past. How might practicing steadiness and emotional resilience create a shift in your relationships? I'd love to hear your insights. Leave a comment and share your experiences. Have you found that giving space and maintaining your calm has strengthened a connection? Let's explore this together. Number 2, give her room to breathe. After grounding yourself and regaining emotional balance, the next crucial step is to honor her need for space. This is a point where many men falter, often rushing to fix things, assuming that a heartfelt conversation or explanation will restore harmony. But here's the reality: when a woman steps back, it doesn't always mean you need to act or say more. In fact, the most effective response can often be no response, at least not immediately. What she likely needs in that moment is room to sort through her own feelings and thoughts. Pushing for an instant resolution can overwhelm her, leaving her feeling pressured and only widening the emotional gap. Giving her space is a clear demonstration of emotional maturity and self-awareness. By doing so, you convey an important and respectful message: I trust you to navigate your emotions and take the time you need. I won't intrude. This signals confidence and self-assurance, two traits that naturally draw people in. It shows that your sense of self-worth doesn't hinge on her immediate attention, which makes you appear more secure and composed. Neediness repels, while calm detachment has a magnetic pull. Additionally, stepping back provides both of you with the breathing room necessary to reflect on the relationship and rediscover what brought you together in the first place. Picture this: you've been spending significant time together, enjoying each other's company, and everything seems to be going smoothly. Then, without warning, she starts pulling away. Maybe her replies to your text slow down, or she declines plans to meet up. Naturally, you feel a mix of confusion and anxiety. Your instincts might scream at you to do something, reach out more, demand answers, or try harder to win her back. But this is where many stumble. Instead of pushing for closeness, the wisest course of action is to lean back and let her decide when she's ready to re-engage. This doesn't mean you completely ignore her or play manipulative games. It means respecting her need for distance and granting her the space to process what's on her mind. Yes, this might be uncomfortable at first, especially if you're craving clarity or resolution, but chasing her will only amplify the tension and risk pushing her further away. Giving her space allows her the opportunity to think clearly, miss your presence, and re-evaluate the relationship without feeling crowded. The philosophy of Stoicism offers valuable insight here. It teaches us to focus on what is within our control and to accept what lies beyond it. You cannot control her emotions, her timing, or her need for distance. However, you have full control over your response to the situation. Instead of trying to force a return to normal, redirect your attention to yourself. Invest in your personal growth, dive into hobbies, and cultivate fulfillment outside the relationship. This not only keeps you grounded, but also signals that your happiness isn't dependent on someone else's validation or affection. As Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, the more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. By fixating on her actions or feelings, you risk feeling even more anxious and powerless. On the other hand, relinquishing the need to control her choices grants you peace of mind. This emotional independence benefits not only you but the relationship as well. It gives her the time and space to reflect, while also sparing you from the trap of overanalyzing or overreacting. In the end, stepping back with grace allows both of you the chance to reconnect from a place of clarity and strength. Number 3, take a moment to look inward. Now that you've granted her the space she needs, it's the perfect time to focus on yourself and engage in meaningful introspection. This period isn't about dissecting every detail or assigning blame, but about understanding the dynamics at play with clarity and patience. When a woman distances herself, it could be due to countless reasons, many of which might have nothing to do with you. Other times, subtle changes in the relationship or small overlooked signals might have contributed to her need for distance. The aim here isn't to fixate on faults, yours or hers, but to gain a broader perspective on the situation. Honest self-reflection is a powerful way to step back and assess what's happening without letting emotions cloud your judgment. Consider asking yourself thoughtful questions. Were there any recent disagreements or misunderstandings that might have created tension? Did you notice shifts in her mood or energy that you might have brushed aside? Are there external pressures in her life, like work stress, family obligations, or personal struggles, that could be influencing her behavior? For instance, think about the last time you spent time together. Maybe there was a minor disagreement that seemed insignificant at the time, a passing comment, a tone of voice, or a brief misunderstanding that you quickly moved on from. But could it have lingered in her mind? Reflect on how you handled that moment. Did you genuinely listen to her concerns, or did you unintentionally minimize her feelings? Was something left unresolved? These honest questions can help you uncover insights into the situation and better understand what might be influencing her actions. It's essential to approach this reflection without self-criticism or overthinking. Instead, focus on being open to the truth, no matter how challenging it may be. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Reflecting with courage and humility allows you to face the reality of the situation without being overwhelmed by doubt or regret. This bravery leads to freedom from uncertainty, fear, and assumptions. Through this process, you gain clarity, whether you pinpoint specific reasons for her pulling away or realize her distance stems from personal challenges unrelated to you. Self-reflection provides a deeper understanding of both the situation and yourself. You might discover areas where growth is needed, not just for the sake of this relationship, but for your personal evolution. Or you might recognize that her need for space is simply a result of her own journey, independent of anything you've done. Stoicism teaches us the value of self-awareness and continual self-examination, not as a way to dwell on mistakes, but as a means of cultivating resilience and wisdom. By reflecting on the present circumstances, you allow yourself to learn, adapt, and approach the future with a steadier perspective. Instead of succumbing to fear or second-guessing, you build the confidence that comes from understanding the broader context and being aligned with your inner self. This time of reflection is also an opportunity to practice gratitude for the relationship and the lessons it brings, regardless of its outcome. Even challenging moments hold value, offering insights and chances to grow. As you consider the potential reasons behind her distance, take a moment to acknowledge the ways this experience is contributing to your personal development. When viewed through this lens, even uncertainty becomes a tool for growth. So, take this moment of introspection as a gift. Whether it leads you to greater clarity about the situation or deeper self-awareness, it will ultimately help you build stronger, more authentic connections in the future. Self-reflection, when approached with honesty and openness, aligns you with your best self and the bigger picture of your life. I'd love to hear your thoughts. How do you navigate self-reflection in relationships? Share your experience in the comments or simply type, "Growth begins with self-awareness." Number 4, prioritize your personal growth. When faced with a period of distance, one of the most empowering choices you can make is to turn your attention inward. This doesn't mean endlessly analyzing her thoughts or waiting for her to make the next move. Instead, it's about taking this time to invest in yourself, your growth, your goals, and your well-being. This serves two vital purposes. First, it helps you rebuild your confidence and sense of autonomy. Second, it conveys that your happiness doesn't hinge on someone else's actions or presence. There's an undeniable allure to someone who is on a journey of self-improvement. When you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, it radiates independence and resilience, qualities that are universally attractive. Use this time to work on your physical fitness, sharpen your mental clarity, and chase the ambitions you've set aside. Whether it's diving into a new fitness routine, honing a skill, or reconnecting with friends, these pursuits not only elevate your self-esteem but also show that your life is rich and meaningful, with or without her. For instance, perhaps you've always been curious about picking up a new hobby, playing an instrument, exploring painting, or embarking on a fitness journey. Now is the perfect moment to commit to it. Engaging in these activities not only adds value to your life, but also sends a subtle yet compelling message: you are confident, self-reliant, and committed to evolving. This doesn't rely on games or strategies. Instead, it highlights your authentic transformation, a reminder of what you bring to the table and what she might miss. This period is not for sitting idle or fixating on the things outside your control. It's an opportunity to actively work toward the person you've always envisioned yourself becoming. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Let this philosophy guide you. Don't just plan or dream about self-betterment, live it. Whether or not she takes notice is secondary. The true triumph is in your personal evolution. So, shift your focus away from her actions or timing and instead ask yourself, what steps can I take today to be better tomorrow? By pouring your energy into your own growth, you'll not only reclaim your confidence and sense of purpose, but also build a life filled with meaning and fulfillment, regardless of the outcome. And that is where the real victory lies. And number 5, communicate with confidence, not neediness. There may come a time when you feel compelled to reach out and reconnect, but how you approach that moment is crucial. Many men fall into the trap of contacting someone from a place of neediness, sending overly emotional messages, or seeking immediate validation. However, here's the reality: neediness is unattractive. It conveys a lack of emotional control, and that's the last impression you want to leave. When you decide to reach out, focus on communicating with calmness, clarity, and confidence, without appearing dependent. Your message should convey that you're open to dialogue, but not reliant on it. This shows you respect her space while maintaining emotional steadiness, regardless of how she chooses to respond. Where desperation reveals insecurity, confidence signals self-assurance. For instance, instead of bombarding her with anxious texts like, "Why haven't you replied?" or "Are you upset with me?" try a composed approach. "Hey, I see you've been taking some space, and I respect that. Just wanted you to know I'm here whenever you feel ready to talk." This kind of message communicates understanding and respect. It acknowledges her need for distance while expressing your willingness to engage without pushing her. By framing your words thoughtfully, you create an atmosphere where she feels safe to respond on her own terms, free from pressure. Confidence in communication also involves setting boundaries for yourself. You're not putting your life on hold, waiting for her reply. You're continuing to focus on your goals and well-being, showing that you're handling the situation with poise and resilience. Demonstrating emotional maturity and self-respect not only fosters a stronger connection, but also increases the likelihood of a constructive conversation when she's ready to reconnect. As Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, reminds us, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This principle is invaluable when communication resumes. When she does reach out, Prioritize listening over talking. Let her know you're genuinely interested in understanding her perspective, not just seeking to express your own feelings or gain reassurance. This grounded and empathetic approach builds trust and strengthens the bond, showing that you value her emotions and insights. By choosing confident communication over neediness, you project respect and emotional stability. You demonstrate that while the relationship is important, your sense of self isn't tied solely to her responses. This fosters an environment where open, meaningful conversations can take place, paving the way for a healthier, more balanced connection. Now, take a moment to reflect. How do you usually communicate in difficult situations? Are you able to maintain calm confidence, or do you sometimes allow neediness to take over? Share your thoughts in the comments. It might just help someone else navigating a similar challenge. Or if you'd like to affirm your mindset, type "I choose confidence over neediness" as a reminder of the approach you're cultivating. Number 6. Adjust your outlook. This is where things get tricky. You need to adjust your outlook. It's completely normal to wish that when you reach out to her, she'll reply immediately, perhaps even acknowledge her mistakes, and that everything will go back to how it was. However, the truth is her reaction is unpredictable. She might open up, or she might need more time and space. Either way, you must approach this with emotional resilience and mental readiness. A key Stoic principle comes into play here: learning to accept circumstances as they are, rather than how we desire them to be. When emotions run high, it's easy to latch onto a specific outcome. You may long for reconciliation or anticipate a reassuring response from her, but hanging on to these expectations can set you up for disappointment if things don't unfold as you imagine. Stoicism encourages us to relinquish the urge to control external events and instead direct our energy toward what we can manage: our own thoughts and behaviors. Whether she chooses to reconnect or continues to maintain her distance, your peace of mind should not hinge on her decision. True inner stability comes from within, regardless of how others respond. Once you've sent your composed and sincere message, resist the urge to constantly check your phone, waiting for a reply. Shift your focus back to your daily life, immerse yourself in activities that anchor you in the present, and allow you to thrive independently of the situation's outcome. It's vital to remain mentally prepared for any response she might give, whether positive, negative, or no response at all. If she engages in meaningful dialogue, consider it progress. If not, remind yourself that you'll be okay regardless. The goal is to stay composed and grounded no matter how events unfold. This is where Stoic teachings prove invaluable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. While you can't influence her choices or emotions, you have complete control over your own reactions. By prioritizing your inner responses over external circumstances, you reclaim your strength. That strength is not derived from her validation or response, but from your ability to remain steady and centered during uncertainty. Adjusting your outlook doesn't mean abandoning hope, it means releasing the need to dominate what is beyond your control. It's about finding peace in the journey, rather than becoming consumed by the destination. This mindset safeguards your emotional health and portrays a sense of calm confidence that is inherently magnetic. Ultimately, the only thing you can truly govern is how you present yourself, and this unwavering stability will serve you well, regardless of how the situation evolves. And number 7, stay above the games. This is a vital principle. Steer clear of falling into the trap of playing games when she begins to distance herself. It's natural to feel tempted to provoke a reaction. You might think about posting something on social media to showcase how great your life is without her, or even decide to ignore her in return, hoping she'll come running back. However, these actions often stem from insecurity and rarely lead to the outcomes you're hoping for. In fact, they tend to backfire, creating even more space and tension between you. When you resort to games, you're not operating from a position of confidence or sincerity. Instead, you're reacting out of fear, hurt, or frustration. Trying to manipulate her emotions might seem like a way to regain control, but it ultimately erodes trust. She's likely to see through the act, and rather than drawing her close, it often pushes her further away. Conversely, choosing honesty and authenticity builds a solid foundation for attraction. Showing that you're secure in yourself is far more compelling than any calculated move could ever be. You might consider flaunting your fun life by sharing a picture with someone else or hinting that you're moving on without her, but rather than adopting these tactics, focus on genuinely living your life. If you're enjoying time with friends, share it because it brings you joy, not because you're trying to spark jealousy or provoke her. Actions rooted in self-confidence, rather than in schemes, speak volumes. They demonstrate that you don't need to lower yourself to manipulative behavior to prove your worth. Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, "The consequences of anger are far worse than its causes." When you act out of jealousy, frustration, or spite, the harm it creates often outweighs the fleeting satisfaction of the moment. While playing games might offer a brief sense of control or validation, it frequently leads to regret, misunderstandings, and deeper emotional wounds for both parties. The smarter choice is to rise above these behaviors. Keep your composure, remain authentic, and approach the situation with grace and maturity. This not only preserves your emotional well-being, but also shows her that you're someone who values integrity and self-respect over petty mind games. By doing so, you elevate the standard for how relationships should function, grounded in respect and honesty, not manipulation. Now take a moment to think about your own experiences. Have you ever felt the urge to play games in response to someone pulling away? How did it affect your connection? We'd love to hear your insights. Drop a comment below and share your story. Your perspective might offer support or guidance to someone navigating a similar challenge. Let's continue the conversation. Number 8. Foster emotional security. When the opportunity arises for her to reach out or for you to engage in conversation, the most meaningful gift you can offer is emotional security. This doesn't imply avoiding tough discussions or excusing behavior without accountability, but rather creating an atmosphere where she feels safe to express her true feelings and thoughts. If she senses judgment, hostility, or misunderstanding, she's more likely to withdraw, making it harder for your connection to progress. Your aim should be to make her feel heard, appreciated, and understood, even when addressing difficult topics. Picture this: she reaches out after a week of silence. It's natural to crave answers. Questions like, "Why did you ignore me?" or "What happened?" might dominate your thoughts, but confronting her with these questions immediately could make her feel defensive or trapped. Instead, approach the conversation with genuine curiosity and understanding. Start by asking how she's been feeling during the time apart. Allow her the space to open up and express herself without interruptions or defensive reactions. This demonstrates your emotional maturity, patience, and willingness to handle her honesty, even if it's not easy to hear. When she begins to share, resist the temptation to critique or pass judgment. Listen deeply, not only to her words, but to the emotions they carry. Acknowledge her perspective, even if it differs from your own. By maintaining emotional composure, you show her that you're steady and in control, which helps her feel secure in your presence. As Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, aptly stated, "No one is free who is not master of themselves." By mastering your own emotions, you preserve your inner balance while creating a supportive environment where she feels safe to be vulnerable. This emotional steadiness on your part sends a powerful message. The more calm and open you are during difficult conversations, the more trust shall develop in you over time. This trust will fortify your bond, drawing her closer because she'll see you as a dependable and stable presence in her life, someone she can count on, regardless of the challenges. Number 9. Keep your eyes on the broader view. In the heat of the moment, when emotions are intense, it's easy to become consumed by what's happening right now. You might feel tempted to act rashly or let fleeting emotions dictate your decisions. However, Stoicism encourages stepping back and seeing the broader view. Relationships, like life, are marked by highs and lows, and no single instance, be it joyful or challenging, defines the entirety of the connection. Her current distance doesn't necessarily mean the end, just as a particularly harmonious period doesn't guarantee the relationship will stay that way indefinitely. It's the bigger picture that matters. Taking a step back allows you to think more clearly and wisely. Instead of being swayed by one moment of conflict or emotional distance, you're able to consider the relationship's overall health and trajectory. This perspective not only helps you maintain clarity, but also provides a chance to reflect on your own growth. Relationships aren't just about companionship, they're about learning, adapting, and evolving. Perhaps this moment of distance is a temporary hurdle in an otherwise strong bond, or maybe it's a signal that some things need to change for the relationship to thrive. The key is to resist the urge to overreact when emotions are high. By zooming out and focusing on the larger context, you gain the ability to assess the situation more rationally. Is her distance just a passing phase, or does it point to deeper issues that require attention? Adopting a wider lens enables you to approach challenges with composure, making space for thoughtful evaluation rather than letting frustration or worry take over. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters." This moment, whether it's a week of silence or an isolated disagreement, is just a small chapter in the story of your relationship. Avoid letting one difficult episode dictate your overall view of the relationship or disrupt your emotional balance. Stoic teachings emphasize steadiness, reminding us not to let temporary situations define our outlook. By focusing on the broader picture, you also create room for growth. All relationships go through periods of tension, distance, and challenge, but how you navigate these times determines the strength of the bond. When you step back to reflect, place the moment in its proper context, and maintain your inner calm, you're better prepared to steer the relationship in a direction that benefits both of you. The ultimate goal is to cultivate a resilient, enduring connection, one where temporary difficulties don't derail the greater journey you're building together. Number 10. Be ready to move on. In relationships, it's natural to hope for the best, but it's equally important to prepare for any outcome. Maybe she returns to your life, or maybe she doesn't. Either way, you need to be equipped to keep moving forward, whether she's by your side or not. This isn't about losing hope, it's about embracing resilience and self-reliance. When you release your grip on a specific result, you free yourself from unnecessary worry and tension. You're no longer held captive by fears of what might or might not happen. Instead, you can face the future with confidence, secure in the knowledge that you'll continue to evolve and flourish regardless of the circumstances. If she chooses to move on, it's not a sign of failure. Relationships can end for countless reasons, and sometimes it's simply because the connection wasn't aligned with her needs. Yes, this realization may hurt, but it's essential to understand that it doesn't diminish your worth. Instead, see it as a chance to explore new opportunities and possibilities. Every relationship, whether it lasts or not, brings lessons. Take those lessons forward, but don't let them anchor you in the past. Growth comes from looking ahead, not staying stuck in what has already passed. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This wisdom holds particular relevance during uncertain times in a relationship. Even if this chapter closes, there is still so much to appreciate. You've grown as a person, deepened your understanding of yourself, and gained insights from the experience. Let your thoughts reflect this growth. Shape your perspective by focusing on hope, progress, and what's to come, rather than fixating on what has already ended. Being ready to move forward doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care enough about yourself to prioritize your own well-being. If she comes back, you'll approach the relationship with newfound clarity. If she doesn't, you'll carry on with strength and determination. Stoicism reminds us that while we can't control external outcomes, we can control how we react to them. Whether the relationship continues or concludes, you remain the master of your journey, always growing, always moving forward. As we bring this video to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned together. When she starts to act distant, it's natural to feel unsettled, even tempted to react impulsively. But as we've discussed, the key lies in mastering your response. By remaining steady, giving her the space she needs, and focusing on your personal growth, you not only maintain your self-respect, but also show her and yourself that your sense of worth isn't dependent on external validation. Through the lens of Stoicism, we've explored how to embrace uncertainty with grace. Whether it's staying grounded, resisting the urge to chase, or choosing authenticity over playing games, each step empowers you to focus on what you can control. Relationships, like life, are filled with challenges, but how you handle them defines the quality of the connection. Emotional steadiness, respect for boundaries, and fostering an environment of trust are the cornerstones of meaningful relationships. And if the time comes to move forward without her, remember that every experience holds valuable lessons, shaping you into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. I encourage you to take these lessons and apply them, not just to this situation, but to every area of your life. How do you usually respond when faced with uncertainty in relationships? Have you tried giving space, reflecting inwardly, or letting go of outcomes you can't control? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. Let's make this a space for growth and learning, where we can support one another through shared experiences. If this video resonated with you, please give it a like. It really helps spread the message to others who may need it. And while you're at it, I'd love for you to rate this video on a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is the lowest and 5 is the highest. Your feedback is invaluable and helps guide the creation of more content that serves you. Finally, don't stop here. Check out the recommended videos now appearing on your screen. They dive deeper into similar topics and can provide even more tools to help you navigate relationships and personal growth with clarity and confidence. Thank you for spending your time here today, and remember, your journey toward growth and self-awareness is the foundation for everything meaningful in life. I'll see you in the next video.